Hello there, kings, queens, and everybody between. I think you know what today is. That's right, folks. It marks in the christening of a new season. A new subset of words that are now going to fall from my lips, and obviously the greatest co-host of all time in the history of history, Subtle Fraudulence lips, right into your very ear. So feel very privileged that you are here for history. So, folks, over 70 episodes in, we have to come to the absolute acknowledgement of the fact that the GOAT is not me, all right? I may do a lot of things around here, but that right there, that's your tribal chief. That's your guy. When you want to elect somebody to usher in a new era, you get this guy. So, Subtle Fraudulence, man, how you been? You been doing all right? Have you recovered from MCMAHON? Are you all right? You good?
There is no recovery from that. All right. My feet will never be the same. Okay.
Oh, what? The vibranium floor was too much?
The vibranium floor was, in fact, way too much. Walking on that, like what? 13 plus hours?
Sunshine, let me tell you. That was tough. You had to have some real gusto and vitriol. You had to have some real metal was tested down there on that floor. Because I'm telling you, I don't know what they put in there. It wasn't concrete. That wasn't normal. When I tell you that was an architecture, a structure, what was it? What they call in WWE? Satan's playground? Yeah, that's what we was on.
Oh.
I mean, a little bit of foreshadowing there, ladies and gentlemen, but Vince McMahon. I think we have a little bit to discuss there, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But if you haven't recovered from MCMAHON, have you at least been having a good day from your day-to-day life and stresses of modern warfare on your pockets? Because I know we don't like using the R word around here, but the recession is starting to look realer and realer by the second. And I don't know if you've seen them gas prices, boy, but not cheap. Them gas prices gonna put some people out of homes.
Yeah, buddy, I'm doing the best. I mean, like, all my crypto and all my NFTs have gone down, so now I can buy more, because, they told you, buy the dip. So, once I buy more and then everything goes up again, I'll be a rich man, Oh, also, once that lawsuit against Elon Musk for, $250 million over Dogecoin, once that resolves, then we'll all have the precedent to sue our billionaires for convincing us to buy cryptocurrency, and then we'll all become the real billionaires ourselves.
Nah, at that point, money will just become worthless, and this is going to be Mad Max. As Mad Max will become a documentary.
Look,
I don't think any of us want that, bro.
If this country gets to the point where they are so livid that new people end up being the prosperous ones, that they decide that money just should not exist anymore because, the common man has more money than Elon Musk or Bill Gates or whoever, then, those people should not be able to make those decisions ever again. But, it's not like people are going to be able to stop that from happening, right?
I mean, we have hopes, dreams, aspirations that it wouldn't come to that, but I'm pretty sure there are many people who had aforementioned hopes, dreams, and aspirations that we wouldn't get as far as we've gotten up to this point. And, well, I think you're beginning to see that a lot of these people are beginning to take their masks the fuck off. The grifter, it must be real hard to be a grifter in the modern climate, because I just don't know how long you can continue this performative act on, because some of these people is losing money. For I know they may have 250,000, 800,000, maybe 2.5 million, but some of these people financially are in some troubles.
What do you mean? It depends on what kind of grifter you are. If you're a right-wing grifter, you are loaded for life, because all the people who are hedge fund billionaires and company owners and whatnot, they all support all these people who try to tell you that they're coming for your money. Cancel culture is going to steal all of the money away from you and give it to your mother. So your Candace Owens, your that's right. Oh, big announcement, guys. Big announcement. Gina Carano is making a time back. That's right. They tried to cancel her, but she's coming back with Rob Schneider in her wing. Gina Carano coming back for the Daily Wire. That's right. She's going to make a masterpiece for them. Mandalorian be damned.
No, but hold on. Let me ask you this, right?
All right.
Let me ask you this, right? So let's just say for whatever, just, I don't know, for the sake of the argument here, let's just say, we humor me on this. Just humor me on this. Let's just say for the sake of the argument, when we're talking about grifting, let's just say we wanted to talk about someone who has a younger brother, last name Paul, if you will. Wait, what do you feel about those? Like you said earlier, with the crypto investments that are going on?
Well,
how do you feel about like all these news outlets trying to say that one of the Paul brothers is now broke?
I mean, why else do you think you've been trying to fight everybody? Like, that's the behavior of a broke man, right there. Like, what are you talking about? You think rich people are trying to fight each other just randomly? Nah.
Hey man, sometimes you got to. I mean, they both was fighting though. I don't think they both broke.
How long did Logan fight? He had what, two and a half fights, and then his brother was like, "No, man, all the smoke. Everybody. Who's that one guy, that boxer guy that makes like millions beating up people? Yeah, bring him over here, and then bring his opponent too, and that redhead guy, and then I don't know, bring them all, please. I need this.
Bring me old NFL wide receiver and washed up commentator Bernard Berrien. Where is he at? I know he doesn't want to be doing the Nickelodeon playoff game forever.
Yeah, he's got money. Bring him over here right now.
It can happen, but like, even if you look past that, there are a lot of people who you saw that were heavy in the zeitgeist in terms of social media and clout and engagement farming, who are not so hot right now. It's on one hand, it's frightening to see because many of you aspire to be the people in those positions, but putting all of your eggs in the content creator basket, unless you are in like the multi-million-dollar tier, a lot of them are down bad and they are in shambles. I mean, just look at the people who are trying to partner with G Fuel. Not going well. And for those of you who don't know, when it comes to G Fuel, so essentially, there were some words, potentially some slurs, some racial tension in the air. And several G Fuel employees decided, you know what? We're actually going to report this one. So, they go to HR, they go to the proper channels. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, they've been 86th. They 6 feet under. Career over. Abrupt halt. They told them, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Your check is already in the mail. You have been severed and futured endeavored. And you got to start asking yourself, right? So they did the right thing by coming forward and saying that, hey, man, we don't rock with this. We don't support this. This is not the way. And all of a sudden, these are some pretty substantial portfolio managers here. Like, these people have quite the extensive workload because these are the people who are the managers for your content creators and partners, ambassadors, whatever you want to call them. And these people have quite the sizable workload of people that they manage. And it's gotten to a point now where there's content creators who saw your boy, the owner of G Fuel. Do you remember his name? You remember his name?
I'm sorry.
Good old
you
fell off a cliff.
Cliff Morgan?
Yeah, I'm talking about good old fell off a cliff. His sanity done fell off the cliff. He better call Morgan and Morgan. He better get some help. But look, Cliff.
I got to say real quick, okay. I have heard from other content creators who have previously been partnered with G Fuel that it is a nightmare. So I'm not super surprised, but it's good that something this big is happening so that it can come to light, so that smaller content creators who get approached by companies like this who target content creators who don't know shit about how their environment is. Those people will now know to just stay away from all of this because you know what? Raid Shadow Legends has you covered, all right? If you get your friends to all start playing Raid Shadow Legends, you'll get $300. Yep, that's right. $300.
I want Epic 7 to approach me. That game got some beautiful animations. I ain't never played that game a single day in my motherfucking life, but I have a friend who goes on and he rants and she raves about it. And they showed me last night. I don't know where they got that animation budget, but that is a gacha game that has money. This is your free plug. So imagine what type of fellatio I can give you if you send me the bag. Anyways, back to G Fuel. with all the lead in their product in the world, you got to start asking yourself, all right, so people are coming forward saying that there's some racial statements being made behind the scenes, and then they're being fired. But it gets worse because there are people who are, the ambassadors and partners that fall under those aforementioned portfolio managers, and they obviously have questions. So they saw Cliff was streaming on the platform of Twitch.tv. So they decided to go in the chat and go, hey, I don't want to be too much of a bother, but like, you fired my manager. So like, what does that mean for me and like the people under me? Cause I need to have like a chain of command of people who I could talk to. And since that was my connect and you got rid of them, I need to know what the proper channels are and how we move going forward. And then those people who ask those questions, as people who are not only followed by your Twitter, not only followed by your Twitch, not only a part of your team and payroll, but people who you already have listed as partners, are being banned from your chat because you didn't shut up, man. Even when people were whispering it, you still found a way to get them banned. And obviously, imagine you get someone who's above you, your manager, or someone who's your superior, or at least your contact in terms of an industry, gets cut, but you're still affiliated. So the middleman or the middlewoman is no longer involved in the entire business relationship between you and a company. So you wake up one day, go, oh, okay, they're fired. That sucks. What exactly am I going to do? So you then try to move forward and just establish some sort of form of contact to be like, hey, we're out here, we're reaching out. And the next thing you know, they block you. Like, does that not sound like bizarro? Like, doesn't that sound like weird? Like, that's like almost on the track to lead to dystopian bad ending. Like, what are we really doing over there? And I understand being an owner of a big time company, especially right now when the dip, we dip, you dip, we dip is coming in the market. Because let's face it, that recession, it's about to RKO everybody. Like right now, like we're on a downtrend, but like we are not in the dark yet. This is the calm before the storm. I know. No one likes to see being in the red. No one likes seeing the numbers going down. No one likes being like, ooh, steep slope. Y'all have no idea how steep this slope can get. That COVID was playing no game. COVID was the precursor. We are just now opening up the can of get fucked Reno. But, I digress. Back to this whole G Fuel thing. Wasn't too long ago, they were like, hey, bro, y'all got way too much lead in this product, way over the legal amount that you're allowed to distribute to people. And that should have opened up a lot of people's eyes then. But apparently it hadn't, because people have gone just, business as usual. But
think about it this way. Yeah, think about it this way. That sort of like, okay, the Prop 65 like warning is, it's like the same as like what, putting warning labels on like cigarette packs back when that was a big thing.
Yeah, like it could kill you, but like the average person who's into the product really doesn't.
They don't care. Yeah, they're not looking at warning labels. They're like, yo, this shit gets me turned up. I get to play my video game. That's it. They're not even gonna like some of those people probably can't even read. So at this point in time, when you see like a warning label like that, the general public either doesn't care about the product or they're not like looking at warning labels that say like, oh, there's lead in this. They're like, does it taste good though? That's it. So,
oh man, I gotta have my blue raspberry rush. Yeah, let's go.
Exactly. Also, when you're watching like, whatever stream and the streamer is like, yeah, now get some G Fuel because that's what sponsors this event and that's what gets me going every time I need to get my game on. They don't say also containing a significant amount of lead. So due to Prop 65, please read the warning label on this.
But here's the thing though. Like, here's the thing I've always like wondered. Like, with most gaming products, it's usually like Ridge Wallet, NordVPN. You get things like a specific like mobile game, gotcha games. Hell, you brought up Raid Shadow Legends. Mm-hmm. Usually stuff like, I think now we're also getting some HelloFresh because, if you're spending all your time gaming, you don't have time to cook. Order HelloFresh, stuff like that. So we now are in that like weird, ambiguous, kind of area where we're talking about something that you put into your body, whether it's a dietary supplement or something like that, to where if you find out that the company has a clean record, G Fuel doesn't, but let's just say it does have a clean record, and then you find out they're poisoning people, but you're a partner, what do you do? Now, I know I'm not equating this lead being larger than the normal verified amount as poisoning. Let's not go there, because that's not what it is. But let's just say you find out you're advertising something that's like if a cigarette manufacturer reached out and wanted to give you the bag, do you then just go with it? Do you just move with it? Do you just say, hey man, thank you guys for Marlboro for supporting this video? Or does that weigh on the conscience of a streamer? Because I know with like games and wallets, most of us, we really don't care. And we could tell by a lot of the advertisements and the ad time that y'all give to the people who are sponsoring your videos, we can tell that y'all don't really care about the product. Like some of you have gone so far as that y'all have evolved your ad shilling segments of your videos to actually be self-aware jokes when you're talking about Raid Shadow Legends, the Ridge Wallet, Raycons, to where it's like, we know, like you're communicating clearly that you don't care about this product, you don't believe in this product, but hey, they keeping the lights on. So I just want to know, like, if it's something that, you know, clearly isn't good for your audience's health, is there some sort of wherewithal that kicks in? Just want to know. Like, this is just something I'm just putting out there. This is just one of those, throw it out in the zeitgeist, see if you get an answer back. Because, look, you know, if Marlboro approached you, would you? Well,
look, the society has taught us over the thousands of years we've been a part of it that the poor are the most desperate, and they end up having to be the most morally bankrupt. Why? Because you can't have morals and make money at the same time unless, you know, someone gifts you the opportunity to become a rich person. And when it comes to being a streamer, when it comes to being a content creator, all that stuff, you need these companies who are like, hey, buddy, we'll give you this this contract for like, I don't know, like 20-30K salary or whatever if you promote our products. The lead, our products are fatal for certain individuals who are on certain medications. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You don't have to tell people about that, and so you know you don't really have to worry about that. You know, 9 times out of 10, if someone finds that out the hard way, they're not in a position where they can just be like, you know what? I'm just going to expose this and compromise my contract. And then, you know, it'll all work out. I'll find another way to get money. I mean, I have this apartment and like, you know, these other bills that I need to pay, but like,
hey, guess what?
I'll find
a way. You may be in between jobs, but you were never in between rent. It will always knock. You don't get the, hey man, you know what I'm saying? I'm going through some rough times right now. You know what I mean? Just, you know, give me like a week or two, you know, I'll get back on my feet, you know? And that week or two turned into a month or two. Then all of a sudden it's October, and then it's January 22nd, and you think you'll land. Come on, bro. Only at Fairy Tale Land are you lasting 7 months without paying, bro.
Exactly.
You getting packed up after 6 weeks, and that's if they're lenient. Some of them give you like what 20 days, 30 days, and then that's it, bro. You ain't getting 6 weeks. You gone.
And y'all want to support Elon Musk, the man who's more than likely to create a robot for rent so that it could just show up to your home and not only beat you up, you know, but also take all your things and put them out in the street for you. Like, come on now.
And give you and intentionally give the AI a voice.
Yeah.
That you have a tough time understanding. You know, one of them old like 70s sci-fi movies. You will finish Dr. Reed and I want your money. You what?
Nah.
Help.
Even worse, it has the do you remember the sequel to Scorpion's Revenge? the one that had Smoke and all the other robot ninjas? It'll have that voice.
Oh god. I'll be damned if I let that voice extort me. Nah.
You'll now you now be escorted outside of the premises. I will take all your things and put them outside.
You have forfeited all rights to all of your belongings that are inside the domicile after 12:01 on July 1st, 2022. commencing incineration process, and they just pull out a flamethrower. They just burn all your stuff. But it's smart burn. It doesn't burn or scorch the walls of the paint. Just your stuff. Now you're thinking with real Elon Musk-onomics. But no, like, obviously we're taking the shit here on that one. That's obviously not something that's, a real tangible thing that can happen right now with the current day technologies. But by God, if I told you they were working on it, you'd probably believe me. Because capitalism has always shown it will find the most fucked up solutions to the simplest of problems. Rest assured. But even when you push past that, we got to start asking like some serious questions. Like, okay, if G Fuel is going to be, off the hook for this, what type of recourse do you want to see happen? Like, do you want to see sanctions? Do you want to see their own partners speaking out against them? Because if they don't speak out against them, for obviously the racial stuff, like, how do they deal with the paper trail? Because, some of these people who are locked in with G Fuel, there's no guarantee that someone else is going to give them a bag that's even comparable. Like, then it starts to affect their content. And let's be honest, I've always said that I've never really thought of content creation being like a full-time job unless you like get a whole team together and all that stuff. But like when you're doing this solo dolo, you got to start making the real decisions on what's best for you as a content creator. Like, let's face it, folks, there are some people who their entirety of their channel, it's just them. Every now and then they might, let's say they have an editor or two on staff. They still got to pay those people. So it doesn't matter who's sponsoring them. If the checks stop clearing, they can't pay the editors. Exactly. If they can no longer pay the editors, there's a whole avalanche of problems of, do they have to edit their own videos now, which takes away from their ability to be able to make content during the hours that they are now editing those videos. So that cuts into their stream schedule. And if they're streaming less or recording less, they're making less content, which ultimately means less money. And if they're not as good at editing as their editors they were paying previously were, they are now making less videos, less frequently, that are at a lower or subpar quality than the bar that they had set beforehand, while being paid less per video, or in some cases, maybe not being paid at all if they only had one partnership going on behind the scenes. And like, you have to like try to walk this tightrope. Like, everyone wants to believe that all their favorite YouTubers who are, backed by all these people are morally incorruptible. Like, you can't corrupt them. They're perfect. They're always going to make the right decision, head on a swivel, and they're going to be triple S tier on the integrity tier list. But some of these people, it's like, hey, either I shield this product, or I got to start scraping some things together last minute to make rent due on the first. Because some people are on that cusp, because a lot of people think that just because they're sponsored by Ridge Wallet or, they're affiliated with, insert PC, like CyberPower PC or something like that, that they're making all this bank.
Artesian builds, if we're talking about PCs.
I was going to get to that. Like one day you could wake up and you're artesian builded.
Yep. Oh my God, man! Like, reports that Artesian Builds is auctioning off the remaining PCs that they had. Man pays Artesian Builds for his PC already. They made the PC. Now they're auctioning off the PC that he paid for. It's a picture that they posted of like, hey, do you guys want to buy this? Please, we're going broke. Like,
so for those of you who don't know, I'll give you the cliff notes. We covered this a couple episodes ago, but essentially, Artesian Builds gets caught being absolutely disrespectful and scummy to their ambassadors and some of their partners and people that, help promote what they do in terms of building PCs. And they overcharge everybody, real hot mess, real shit show over there. So they get caught with all this. And then people start realizing that, wait a minute, you guys are misappropriating funds. You guys are doing all this stuff's not up to code. Your builds are actually subpar. Wait a minute, what is this? So then people started taking a real look at the guy, Noah, the guy who is the CEO of Artesian Builds. And it comes to a point now where they're so fucked over, they can't even do business in the state of California where they were running their business out of anymore. Like, they're GG'd, no read. Now, there's a content creator who ordered a PC right before all this chicanery popped off. They had already ordered it. They sent the money. They already have the build literally completed. This scandal happens. And they're like, hey, I paid for that PC. You owe me that PC. Produce the goods. That's how commerce works. I bought it. You send it. I use it. I let you know if it explodes during my warranty period. And other than that, fuck off. Right? That's usually how commerce works in some way, shape, or form, facet. And fast forward, user still does not have the PC that they paid for months ago. They claim that, oh, well, you know how things are, we're a little bit busy. Has no point of contact. Hard to get into contact with him. They say they don't have his PC. They're scratching their head, and then they post on social media. They post out there on, like their public listings on what they're selling. They're liquidating and selling off all of their assets because they can no longer do business. So they're trying to minimize the blow by selling off what they call extra excess product. And then they post a picture of the aforementioned customer's PC, and the customer see. Imagine it's just like, hey man, I bought the the new Samsung Galaxy, the 22 Ultra, right? And then it's just like, oh dang, Samsung caught up in a scandal. Things aren't really going too well. There's this whole Korean debacle. There's recessions over there, so they're shutting down their thing. But they have my money. I spent $1,000. This is a hypothetical situation. Samsung has not done anything wrong, by the way. I just want to make sure we're all clear on that. This is a thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because in the real situation, this man definitely spent a lot more than $1,000 on this PC. Let's be real.
Yeah. It's like, but I spent $1,200 on the phone. I'm going to get my money back, right? And then you see a Samsung eBay account selling off all their assets on a huge discounted rate. And then you see the phone that you have that literally has your name etched on the side of it because you had a custom embroidery on it. And yeah, it's just sitting there being sold. You can physically see it. And they're going to try to scam you out of the money while dishing off what you already paid for and double dip by having someone else pay for what you already paid for and not send it to you. It's very disrespectful. And I don't know why they thought they wouldn't get caught, but like, I don't even think it was within 24 hours. Excuse me. I don't think it was longer than 24 hours before they got caught. And it's just like, how? How do you do this? How?
Stupidity. Foolishness, Dante. Foolishness. That is all that is. And you know what? They had the gall, and that's how they got themselves into this mess in the first place. Because look, do you know where that company would be at if they weren't being classist against like a small streamer who won a raffle, a giveaway to receive a PC?
That's what's crazy to me. Like, this didn't start off like from like the humblest of beginnings. Like, they literally went out of their way to find the problem. Had that person just said, oh, okay, well, you won the raffle fair and square and moved on, we wouldn't know any of this. None of this would have happened. This was all 100% avoidable. What happened was somebody's e-peen wasn't being stroked, and their ego just could not handle the fact that they weren't getting filleted by the populace, and then they lost their rabbit-ass mind. My personal favorite thing, though, is they're always flexing about how, they got money like that, but they're bankrupt. But then, like, when you check Noah's Instagram, what did we see? This man's got a BMW i8.
Yep.
Which,
absolute
just so you
nonsense.
know, not necessarily what we would call a cheapo in the auto market, okay? Just saying, not something we would call for the free ski, my ladies and gentlemen. Kings and queens, everybody here. I need you to understand. Just go look it up. YouTube, if you're on YouTube right now, pause the video, and I just want you to type right now how much you think a BMW i8 costs, just off the top of your head. Because if you said $40,000 to $60,000, you're wrong. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. Just tell you that right now. Like, don't think it's like that. Now, some of you may be saying, well, my dear streamers, Mr. Fraudulence, Mr. Frosty Combo, I think that the BMW i8 is a tactful piece of machinery. And I believe that it's only $75,000. And to you, I would say, $75,000. You were in the ballpark. You're in the realm of possibility. But then what I would tell you to do with that $75,000, right? What I would tell you to do with that is to take out a calculator, and then I would tell you to press the times button and then 2. Because it starts at around 150,000 MSRP. Starts. That's where the negotiations begin. Now, granted, if you actually know how to haggle, you can probably get them down underneath the 140, you know what I'm saying? But, that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to teach you guys how to buy cars and how to, actually not pay sticker price, because some of y'all be paying sticker price, and I just don't understand how y'all be doing that. But, depends on also the options and amenities that you want your i8 to have, because there are different bills and what you can do. But, like, once again, I'm not here to shill the BMW i8 to you. It's the fact this man's got over $100,000 car trying to flex, all because a streamer won a raffle that he made the rules to. Like, the thing is, like, you made the rules. If you thought they were too small and not big enough, they should have never been on the raffle in the first place. You were in control of that from the tippity bippity bop top to the flippity flugen bottom. You could have, I don't know, done the research, or, I figured you would have already done the research, because, these are your people. These are the people that y'all chose to be ambassadors for your brand. So you should at least have a general idea of who these people are and what they're about, etc., etc. And if they meet all the BS qualifications that you had set up behind the scenes, that's when you should have went, oh, okay, this person has met the bullshit. Let's be honest. Absolutely asinine and arbitrary constructs that I've just kind of pulled out of my ass. But if they hit all those check marks, as arbitrary as they may have been, that's the only way they get on your spinning wheel in order to be eligible for the raffle. But you just put them all on a raffle, because they're probably sitting in a spreadsheet somewhere, and you could just press Control-C, Control-V, bada boom, bada bing. You didn't decide to actually go and, I don't know, sift through the data and actually find the ones that you particularly wanted. You didn't go and, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? What's that word where you curate? You go behind the scenes, you do a little bit of a background check. Oh, what's the word? It's not profile. Do you know the word I'm talking about?
What, research? I don't.
Oh, they damn sure didn't do that, my boy. I'm talking about the process. It's a very specific word I want to use. I'm sure it'll come to me at some point. But continue on. It's just a shit show.
Yeah,
and companies just do that all the time. You have a whole selective process. Like, I just don't understand how you don't think about these things. And these are people that get paid over $100,000 a year to run businesses. These are the people that get the keys tossed to them and say, all right, man, go ahead and get after it. Only to fumble the bag that you fostered to create in the first. It's silly. It's ridiculous. But speaking of people who are filthy rich, fumbling the bag and doing stupid shit, how about Vincent Kennedy McMahon? Did you see him tonight? Like, before we went live today, someone said, oh yeah, SmackDown's on tonight and Vince McMahon's going to be on the show. And you may be saying, why are we talking about the World Wrestling Entertainment? Why are we talking about WWE in the slightest? Did John Cena return? Is the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns back on top? Like, is Matt Riddle going to be the future of the WWE? No, we're not here to talk about actual wrestling. We're here to talk about the fact that Vince McMahon, I don't know if you've seen, has had quite the bit of garbage thrown on his lawn. One of which being the fact that there are now allegations surfacing that he was out here sexually assaulting and pretty much just pimping out women between him and John Laurinaitis for, let's just say, 10, 20-ish years back in the 80s, and had some sexual misconduct with somebody who was on staff at WWF at the time. And yeah, things don't seem to be looking quite good for him. So, Mr. Subtle Fraudulence, would you like to hammer home some of these details for the people at home?
Okay. First and foremost, Vince McMahon if you paid any attention to the way that he's run his quote unquote business, it's not very well. Wrestlers being considered what is it, independent contractors, so that they don't get insurance through Vince McMahon. There's that whole scandal with what was it, Triple H and his little lady friend. You know that one viral clip where they're in a. Yeah, go ahead, man, go ahead.
Because that's not Triple H. I know what you're talking about.
Oh.
There was this whole thing with real life kayfabe, as it were. Yeah, this whole thing with Matt Hardy and Lita. They were dating, and Lita decided, hey, this Matt Hardy dick ain't good right now, so I'm gonna go get some of this Edge dick. And Edge and Matt, they were cool behind the scenes. They were bros. So there was obviously this huge betrayal of trust, and Matt Hardy stepped away from the company or was let go. You choose whichever ending you want there, but for a while he was not a part of the company. So Vince decides to give Matt a job back, and the first program he's going to put him in is going to be a love triangle angle with his ex and the person the ex cheated with being Edge. And what he wanted to do to raise the stakes was have the cheaters, the betrayers, his ex and obviously ex-friend at the time, Edge, come out on Monday Night Raw, tell Matt Hardy he's a piece of garbage and that he could never satisfy Lita like he can, and basically have a live simulated sex porn romp in the middle of the ring on Monday Night Raw as
national
he's going
television.
in Raw on national television. And obviously they're supposed to be a whole program, blah, blah, blah. And apparently Lita and Edge were very against it. Lita was like very upset. She claims that she was getting stomach ulcers just by having to deal with all that shit. She was like very stressed out. She was saying this is terrible. Like, we shouldn't make this public like this. Blah, 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 blah. And Vince was like, well, you either do it or you're fired. And, we don't even want to talk about all the racial stuff that, has been brought to, everyone's attention ever since, Mark Henry has had some of his subsequent, his retirement interviews out there. So, there's that. But, the way he does business, Vince McMahon anyway, behind the scenes has always been a little iffy. Like, he's always never necessarily been on board with being on the up and up 24/7, 365. There's always a little bit of shade in that back room. However, even with all of that aside, these allegations come out, and for whatever reason, the Wall Street Journal reported that they were investigating a $3 million payout to be made to a woman to cover up an alleged consensual affair between a WWE paralegal and McMahon. Now, you may be saying, but hasn't he faced sexual misconduct allegations in the past? He sure has. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's interesting is the newspaper that reported the board's investigation uncovered several other non-disclosure agreements, NDAs for short, reached in relation to other misconduct claims against McMahon and the head of talent relations, aforementioned John Laurinaitis, by women who worked for WWE.
Do you remember that guy, Bill O'Reilly?
Well, what about him?
He had a show on Fox News, right? I don't know. All this just sounds very familiar. He had a show on Fox News, right? His own television show on Fox News. And I don't know, mysteriously, he had to step down from that television show because people found out that there was some non-disclosure agreements for some allegations against him of sexual misconduct where he paid off several women for sexual misconduct. But you know what? Fuck it. We'll do it live. So, yeah, it's sounding like Vince is going down that same path. He decided that he's going to, quote unquote, step down, and that his daughter, Stephanie McMahon, who, if you're a fan of WWE, WWF, etc., you know who Stephanie is. She had her own arc where she, was rebellious and fucked over her dad to gain control of, WWE and whatnot. She had her whole thing. So, not surprised that Stephanie is taking over. But it's been announced by Bloomberg that he's still going to retain a lot of his duties anyway. So, he's not stepping down point, he's literally getting out of the limelight, which he loves a lot. He
Yeah,
he writes
so
himself,
the only thing that Stephanie is doing is taking over as CEO and the chair of the board of directors in his absence. All
with
the
his
other
title
data,
alone, probably.
all the other day-to-day stuff that he does, like head of creative and stuff like that, he is still going to be taking the lion's share of all of those responsibilities. And for all we know, Stephanie McMahon is going to be just a figurehead. She's just going to be in the position officially, legally, because maybe if for whatever reason Vince actually is considered guilty, maybe it works out better if he's not the CEO for the company, and then the company doesn't have to take the blow because they could be proactive. We got rid of Vince a long time ago. What are you talking about? We already stripped him of his power. We already doled out his punishment. Yep. GG's. What do you get mad at WWE for? You hate Vince. You don't hate the WWE. You hate Vince. The two are very separate now.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, this could be like a kind of a preemptive thing that they're just doing to get in front of this. But alas, there is a little bit of breadcrumbs that I think some people need to follow because I think this is kind of entertaining. Did you know that this family that has made billionaires have used quite a large, substantial bit of coin to get involved into the Republican Party politics? Now you may not know this, but Linda McMahon, Vince's wife, has had two failed, because she never won, but she had two failed runs for U.S. Senate seats for the Republican Party. And
Bless the United States for that.
Yeah, right? But she did go on to serve as the head of a small business administration for 2 years.
Uh-oh.
Do you know under who?
Her husband?
No, President Donald Trump. What do you mean?
Oh, that's right. That was my second guess. Because, those two might as well be the same fucking dude. Like,
the interesting thing is they worked a program back in, 2005? And it's kind of weird when you actually go back and you look at it, because there's some racial overtones to that whole feud that I don't think people really like. It's tough to combat. So God rest his soul. There was a wrestler, Samoan, named Umaga, in which he was supposed to be a primal, like Tasmanian devil like character who needed his handler, Armando Alejandro Estrada. Yes, they are.
Hold on. Let's focus on that for a second, because we really don't talk about how in the 90s characters like that were just inherently racist, and we just kind of, it's like, oh yeah, the brown man from another country. Yeah, he's a wild man. He's a beast, just like the Tasmanian devil. He has to be chained. He has to be chained.
But so he had a handler. And the whole thing was, Vince thought that his Tasmanian devil man could beat Donald Trump's endorsed wrestler, who was Bobby Lashley, a.k.a. the big, strong, buff black man. And basically they were gambling on whose minority was stronger.
Yo.
And then when Bobby Lashley won, Vince McMahon had to get his head shaved. And if Umaga would have won, Donald Trump would have had to get his head shaved.
You mean take off his toupee?
Yes. Well, what was it? I mean, I'm sure it was a toupee, but this was back in 2004, 2005, 2006, something in there.
No, that was probably somewhere close to a toupee at that point. It was a toupee or bad decisions. It was one or the other.
So yeah, that was an interesting time in the wrestling mythos. All right, it's one of those things where you really look back with a new lens, and like I said, with hindsight's 20/20 and all that. But it's like, wow, it's just crazy that these people have been conjoined at the hip for this long. Like, clearly they've remained in contact and in each other's good graces. I mean, you don't do something 15 years ago, and then 15 years go by, and you think, you know what? I think they are someone who I want to rub elbows with and bring them into my administration. Just saying. It looks like they fostered those ties, but either way, this whole thing looks kind of shaky. because you got to remember all the wild stories that we heard from documentaries like Dark Side of the Ring. Like, we learned that a lot of your favorite professional wrestlers behind the scenes were, as far as humans are concerned, gigantic walking steaming pieces of fecal matter. They were garbage.
You also learned things like what? Was it Chris Jericho? No, Chris Benoit. I'm sorry. Chris Benoit. You know, there was definitely some indications that man had CTE that was affecting a lot of his decisions, and it was definitely caused by his job as a wrestler for the WWF, and they just kind of ignored that. And then, you know, when he did, you know, the thing, the murder suicide thing, they just disavowed all knowledge that man even existed, taking no accountability for that whole thing, no accountability for the fact that they could have done something to assist this man when it was very clear that he needed help. Yeah.
Like, see, the super weird thing about that is, like, when you hear other people's accounts, like they're talking about like little things that they noticed, and I was just like, yeah, like, I understand, like, CTE wasn't something that like was known to the average human being during that time,
right?
So I can't fault them, but like, you ain't think it was weird that like your boy was just passed out by his bed at like 4 a.m.? You think that was weird that he was having trouble remembering what you thought would be simple shit, and that they weren't as sharp as attack or as, you know, clever as they once were, or the fact that some people have now found out that his brain, like, you know, after he died, obviously postmortem, then when they were studying his brain, they noticed that he had the brain of somebody who was 70 plus years old with dementia.
Yep. Meaning that thing got beat up.
And this man, like, you know, you got to start watching out, because, you know, there's been football players who also have had CTE who said like they've been having crazy thoughts, their mind was racing, they had no moment of peace, and they did what they had to do and killed themselves. I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched the podcast called The Pivot, which is a sports podcast, you know, hosted by several sports personalities, but they had Warren Sapp on there, and Warren Sapp thinks that he might have CTE because he said there was one day he got in the car, he was going to go see his friend. Him and his friend had been chopping it up about how they about to go to just go watch the game, have some drinks at his house. He said he was just driving. He said he felt weird when he woke up, but he was just driving. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go see my boy. I'm going to go see my boy. And then he literally was like, where does my boy even live? And it was somebody whose house he would go to like maybe a couple times a month. Couldn't even remember where the dude lives at now. So if you losing your sense of direction and you forget where people and who, like, what your relationship is to people, where you are, how to get to places that were relatively common knowledge for you last week or yesterday, you then start to asking yourself, someone who's taken blows to the head consistently and not like, you know, once, you know, obviously going through several car collisions on a Sunday, but them WWE schedules are relentless because they be doing house shows on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. They got pay-per-views on Sundays. Back then you had shit like Velocity on Friday and Saturday. Like, you had like 5 or 6 shows a week potentially. And you might be on 3 or 4 of them. Much less the workload of, you know, having to do interviews, having to do like podcasts, having to do radio promotion. The fact that you're on the road, like 300 days out of the 365-day calendar year, not that much breaks, and you don't even get a W-2 form because you're a contractor. So you don't ever really get the super benefits of, you know, being a full-time worker, even though you probably put more hours in than the average full-timer working a traditional 9 to 5. Like, these are things that all add up to the stress of life, plus all the head trauma. Like, we know what he did was, it's irredeemable, it's fucked up, and it's terrible. But there's always that thought process of, he probably woke up, saw those people in his house, and he didn't even know who the fuck they were.
Yeah.
And that is a scary thought in and of itself. Because you look at what some of these wrestlers today put themselves through. Like, look at Jeff Hardy, bro. That man been jumping through tables, off of ceilings, through all types of hardwood, getting thrown glass in his face. This man done broke his body up 6 ways to Sunday for like a quarter century. There's going to become a day where he's like in his 60s and 70s and his body just going to be like, hey, bruh, you going to need a full body cast or a gelatin mold because I ain't got nothing for you here. I'm out. I'm tapped. It's GG's. And, you know, God forbid we find out that, you know, because we know he has a drinking problem because he was yet again arrested for yet another driving under the influence charge, because of course he was. Maybe these DUIs are because he's got demons that he has from all this bodily trauma, and he feels the only way that he can feel safe is if he's in an inebriated state. Or worse, he's already on the route, on the fast track, inside lane to CTEville. And it's only a matter to when he doesn't get to the alcohol fast enough that he overreacts and does something, let's say, irredeemable of himself, something irrehensible, something that's going to be a yet another dark tragedy in the wrestling world. And I know we say that these things probably aren't likely to happen, but we got to start thinking about some of these worst case scenarios, because, I mean, when you look at Chris Benoit, sure, his matches were insane at times, yes, but it's cupcakes compared to what some of these high-flying acrobatic people are doing, where they're jumping through 42 tables, getting thrown through cages, getting thrown through the ring, being lit on fire, hitting the head with a steel chair or a 2x4, then falling through some plexiglass that's not really what we would call professionally secured. Hell, AEW, different company, literally was getting their ass chewed out by the court of public opinion because they knew Matt Hardy, the other Hardy, had a concussion. They knew he wasn't there, and they let him finish the match.
Yep.
WWE a couple weeks ago had some dude, I think it was Cody Rhodes, he has a torn pectoral muscle. I don't know if any of you guys have had a torn any damn thing, but much less a torn pectoral muscle that looks like it's disheveled, it's black, blue, and it looks like there's literally layers of pus in your breast. And they let this person wrestle a Hell in a Cell match. These independent contractors are getting screwed left and right. And they're probably, you know, just gaslighting them with but you got to think of your legacy. If this match doesn't happen, then what will happen is you may not be promoted or heavily featured anymore. And they can always hold that in their back pocket over probably anybody there not named The Rock or related to him. And
even then,
or John Cena, forgot.
Even then, with those two, it was probably held over them a few times, and that was probably the reason why they, you know, went towards other career choices like acting.
Yeah, because, you know, let's be honest, in wrestling, you're only as good as the company wants you to be, because we have seen plenty of times in every wrestling company you can think of. It's a story as old as time. If the big boss, it doesn't matter how talented you are, you could be literally the GOAT in terms of the effort you're willing to give and how much you're willing to sell your soul and your body to the industry. But there are some people who are willing to go to the umpteenth degree, the nth mile, and then some. But if the top brass don't think you're that guy, they will never let you be that guy. There are people who you think should probably have been a 12-time champion, just like John Cena. And they've never even so much as been in a title match. They've been relegated to what we like to call a jobber, aka just some grunt level villain dude who's just out there to be out there for the sake of saying, I'm a professional wrestler.
Didn't Rikishi get a breast implant just to stay relevant? Isn't that like
you got me on that? You got me on that one. I do not know about that story.
Oh, well, I know that Rikishi did get breast implants. But I believe it was to like stay like relevant, to be like, oh well, we got to put this guy in, you know, in the series because, you know, well, he's got boobs now. He's a man with boobs. People are gonna want to see that. So yeah. I mean, being an independent contractor for like a big company like that, who can definitely afford to hire everyone as actual employees, definitely afford to give them medical insurance at the very least, you know, things like that. It's absolutely insane because it's literally like if they don't appease this one man, then that's it. They're out. They're out of a job. They're not going to make money, and then they're going to go broke and have to like find employment elsewhere. In which case, it would have to be something wrestling related. And like, are there any other leagues that actually hire them as like real wrestlers besides like moving to like a different country?
Right. And I don't know. It's kind of like one of those big time shit show situations. But I don't know. This whole Vince McMahon thing, it's going to be very interesting to see where the chips fall, because I feel like this is going to just unearth a lot of different details from I feel like there's going to be like one of those domino effects. I feel like a few people are going to say things, but then a lot of people are going to start talking. And trust me, there are probably some people who, because remember, this is whole thing with Sasha Banks and Naomi about, Sasha Banks being released.
That's right.
And who knows if she's got any secrets or some stuff she want to let out that she might air it out.
Wasn't it publicly because of like a grievance with Vince and the company in general?
So the long and short of it is, they were told that they were going to do one thing and be featured in a way that was very positive for them. But then she goes, but you guys haven't, like, we're the tag champs of the women's division, and we have nothing planned. Like, you have nothing planned for us. We're just out here. We literally just exist. If you're going to give us a title, we need to be important. We need to be featured. We need to be able to do something and move forward with a storyline. Do you even have anything lined up for us? Because right now, you just got us out here in this like 8-man tag team match, which really doesn't need us. They could just be 6 people out there instead of 8. Like, we're just out here, and then you're going to have our team lose anyway. That doesn't make any damn sense, because if we're the tag champs, that means technically you have the best tag team on this team. So why would we lose? That doesn't make any sense. You know the whole nine. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And, they were upset about that. So they just no-showed it. They just said, yeah, this is dumb. So we're just not going to do it. Let them do it for themselves. And then the WWE said, oh, they no-called, no-showed. They're bad people, blah, 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 blah. Even though they pretty much done nothing but sacrifice for you for like, 7 to 8 years now, and have given people classic moments. And I believe Sasha Banks has actually main evented a WrestleMania. So it's not like she's like, someone that nobody knows. Like, she's definitely a household name. And she was just saying that I just don't feel like people who haven't even shown up to work a quarter of as much as me should be able to be getting, more billing, more screen time, and more direction than the people who have fucking titles, which is a logical point of view. So at that point, they were very quiet about, WWE was very quiet about it. And then recently it started to come out a little bit that they may have released her from the company. So if she was released and, she got smoked and packed up and out of there, if she's got some dirt or some sauce, she might come in at the 11th hour and just air it out. And I feel like there's a lot of people with an axe to grind against Vince, especially when you got people like Bret Hart out there. They, what was it? Because of the Dark Side of the Ring and, various other publications, we found a lot, and I mean a lot, about Ric Flair over the past few years, haven't we?
Yep.
Especially you get that man on an airplane. So, we don't really know these folks, and I feel like we're about to learn a lot more intimate details about Vince than we could have ever wanted or fathomed, have ever dreamed of. So keep an eye out on that. We will probably end up talking about that on the next episode as well. But enough about doom and gloom posting. Let's talk about things that are actually kind of fun, because in a couple of weeks, June 28th is going to come around, and DNF, Dungeon and Fighter, The Duel, will be on shelves everywhere. And as someone who's played the closed beta, I gotta say this game was actually pretty fun. Like, it's actually heat. I genuinely think that if you're a fighting game player, an avid, fighting game, connoisseur, I do believe that this is a game that you're going to want to sink your teeth into, especially since this seems like it's going to be one of the games that's fully featured, story mode, arcade mode, actual things to do in the video game in order for you to, level up, test your skills. And they actually have a genuine rank system, which is something that, like, I really want more fighting games to do. Like, I want fighting games to have actual elo systems. I don't mean like you arbitrarily gain 50 points, lose 50 points. I mean something that's more akin to, I don't know if you guys remember Xbox, they had this true skill thing on the original Xbox 360. Like, do you remember that? The true skill rating? Like
That
Halo
doesn't
had
sound.
it. Halo had it. It goes from rank 1 to 50. Halo had it. The NRS fighting games had it, and I want to say Call of Duty had it. I could be wrong on Call of Duty though.
That sounds disgusting. But yeah, I don't remember that at all. But I also, I played most of those games on PlayStation, so I didn't have a
Oh yeah,
360 of my
okay.
own.
So
So
yeah, so on PlayStation 3, most of those games equivalent. Well, obviously not Halo, but the NRS equivalent was they had points. Like that, like a point system. Like you
what
went
was the
from
point
like
system used for?
it was like rank. Like it was like instead of going from 1 to 50, I think the points was like 1 to like 3,000. And there was like a calculation that the game had. Like if you were expected to win, like an actual ELO calculation to assess your rating and how things were warranted, not just, oh, you're a higher rank without taking anything else into account, arbitrarily plus 67 like Street Fighter 5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
Like something that's actually based off of a like ladder based system in terms of calculating the rating, not something that just seems like arbitrary. Because I mean, as you've seen in Street Fighter, you could perfect the guy or win by 1 HP.
You get the same amount of points.
And you get the same amount of points. So like there's clearly not a calculation. It's just on a binary, did you win, lose system. And some of the numbers just seem to be kind of arbitrary based on, no calculations, because you could beat, you go on a 50 win streak and now you're getting punished if you're at the top of the leaderboard because for whatever reason, it doesn't do it based off of matchmaking. Like if you're in like the top 500 of a game, like even Overwatch, you're typically all the people who are going to be in that game are going to be top 500. So why is it in a one-on-one game if someone's ultimate grandmaster and is like rank 8 in the world, right? Why are they getting matched up against a super platinum? Like that doesn't even make a lick of sense.
Yep, but
now granted, they'll be like, yeah, but then you have long queue times and things of that nature and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, while that may be true, there's a reason why these other games that have these, big prize pools are often, you find out, free to play, because they have this thing called endless content, whether it be skins, new game modes, events, blah, blah, blah. 100,000 different ways, whether it be innovative or otherwise, to get the community to put more capital and invest into the game. That's why I know we all hate Blizzard. I know we all hate Activision. We know we all want them to kick rocks. But that Overwatch 2 launch is about to go fucking nutty. It's free to play. And a game with, a story like Overwatch, you know how many side stories they're going to be able to make now?
Mm-hmm.
Look at Apex Legends. Look at how they have like 15 chapters of just story stuff. And each of those chapters are like 8. They got voice acting. They got cutscenes. They got all types of lore. They get to drop lore trailers like every 3 to 4 weeks. Each character has like an in-depth backstory. Now imagine you get to do all of that, the stuff that Overwatch was doing. But now they have found a way to monetize it in the game.
On top of monetizing the skins, of course, and the loot boxes.
Exactly. Like the loot boxes, the skins, and like, actually, no, they're not going to have loot boxes because they have a battle pass now. Oh shit, you're going to have to open your loot boxes before Overwatch 2 comes out.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're thinking about it. Because Overwatch 1 is going to get an update, right?
Yeah, Overwatch 1 just kind of becomes Overwatch 2 once Overwatch 2 launches. So I don't know what they're going to do about people's unopened loot boxes, or maybe they will have loot boxes while having a battle pass, but no, Apex does that. So yeah, never mind. They'll still be loot boxes. Never mind.
Of course, there'll still be loot boxes, sir. Come on, man.
Yeah,
you got to think about the god, Fortnite.
Yeah, I was living in Fantasyland. I'm sorry. I was getting cooked over here, bro. My fault. My fault. My fault. Sometimes even my brain forgets that capitalism is what will win the day.
Maybe they'll go full Fortnite and offer all the skins on some sort of rotation in a store where they will pay real money to buy the game's currency so that they can actually the game does have currency. It has like gold or whatever, right? Yeah. So they'll buy gold so that they can unlock the skins that they want if it's in the rotation.
While that is a true thing that you're saying, you know what scares me?
What?
They started off early. Did you know you could spend $40 to pre-order a free-to-play game in Overwatch 2?
Exactly. Just in time to get Junker Queen.
Well, no. Here's the thing. So here's the thing. That's another thing I was thinking about. Will the characters that come out be free-to-play?
No.
Or are you going to have to buy them?
It's going to League of Legends, the whole thing, probably.
Because here's the thing. They said by December, we're going to have 5 new heroes, which means, I mean, personally, I don't think they're making the heroes fast enough. But then I started thinking, no. Pokemon Unite made their champions Pokemon. They've released them at a much slower rate than 5 in 2 months. And people are still buying those, so...
Exactly.
It's going to be a very interesting way to see how they process the business model. But this Activision Blizzard we're talking about, I'm expecting people to be bent over that hardwood and fucked long dick style. That's just me personally. Anyways, pushing past that even, you got to worry about another game that's coming out over the horizon because, remember, on June 28th, the beta for the next beta for Overwatch comes out the same day as DNF The Duel.
Jesus Christ. What is up with Blizzard and trying to like impede on other games releases with their nonsense? First it was Paladins, now it's this. Or no, not Paladins. What was that other free to play or that other game that was the I think it was the one that came out from the company that makes Borderlands.
Oh no, I know. Oh no, it's not. Oh. No, I know what you're talking about. I know. I can see it. I can see it.
Was like Battleborn. That's what it was. It was Battleborn. Oh my God. Battleborn's beta came out at the same time Overwatch's beta came out. And you know what everybody played? Overwatch.
And you know who else got packed up?
Paladins.
Cliffy B said, we're the Overwatch killer, remember? Lawbreakers.
Oh my
They got smoked before the game released. I don't even think their game came out.
It came out.
Nobody played it. Nobody.
I know one person who played it, man. And you know who. Come on, bro.
Was it Mike?
Nah, the PC God. Come on, bro.
Odie?
Yeah. He caped hard for Lawbreakers. And like, look.
No, here's the thing. Lawbreakers was genuinely a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game, but unfortunately.
Because I have gone back and I have watched videos. Like, I was like, Lawbreakers closed down. What the hell is this? I watched videos and said, yo, this is sick. Why wasn't this promoted? And then I realized in production at the same time as Overwatch. And I was like, oh, we got hit with the TN solar flare. We just never saw it.
Exactly.
Now, I don't think it helped them that they said it's the Overwatch killer. You never market your product
as a killer,
as a insert thing here killer. You let that be the court of public opinion that assesses that. Because folks, what we've learned is games can coexist. Fortnite didn't kill Apex. Apex sure as hell didn't kill Fortnite. And Apex Mobile ain't kill either of those. So, as you can see, these games, they are not dead. Dota ain't killing League. League ain't killing Dota. Hell, they hardly killed Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm had its own problems, but you know.
Yeah, you know.
Hell, Pokemon Unite ain't got no chance at smoking Dota.
Pokemon
League.
Unite, it's Pokemon. That's the thing. Like, it'll have players because it's Pokemon, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm convinced that Pokemon could come out with any type of game. Like, this is the same series that gave you Pokemon Legends Arceus. They outsourced a game to make Pokken to Bamco.
That game had it had a first game and a sequel.
Did it? Because I could have sworn the sequel was just Tournament XD. I thought it was just Deluxe Edition.
Nope, that was Pokken 2.
That wasn't like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Nah, it was Pokken and Pokken 2.
All right, well, you know,
Pokken
you got it.
DX. It's like, okay, it's like Marvel 3 and Ultimate Marvel 3. That's more the closer that you could get to that.
Okay, so it's like, yeah, it's like Tournament Edition. But with more characters and better support, because I don't think the first Pokken got like real good support. XD looked like it got some sauce.
It also had system changes.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. There you go. See, even I am being educated on this stream. Yes.
I mean, who's playing that game now? Let's be real. Who's playing that? Are you?
No. I can't say that I am, my friend.
It sucks that it died off too, because that game had had some cool ideas behind it. Like you gave Pokemon like actual Tekken characters like moves and shit like that, which is the thing that Namco does with all their games, as I've like found out by going back and playing Urban Reign. But but yeah, like you had like Blaziken doing like Electric Wind Godfist and shit like that. Like shit like that was in the game, but since it had more of an arena style fighting system to it, it was too like weird and different for it to catch on to like the average.
It wasn't Pokemon enough for Pokemon players. It wasn't Tekken enough for Tekken players.
Exactly.
And it wasn't Arena Brawler enough for the traditional Arena Brawler players. It just seemed like, don't get me wrong, it found a niche. But you got to remember, fighting games and arena-based games in and of themselves are a niche. So it found a niche within a niche, which means it found a cranny, but not a nook. And it's like, tough to get someone to not only buy one game, but two in a short quick period of time. Tough.
The Georgia curse happens even with that game, where it's just like, what, I think I'm gonna compete in that game. It's gonna be a pretty fun time, and then you find out that one of the absolute best players of that game ever it lives in Georgia and shows up, and it's just like, oh hey, and then and that's it.
What was his name? Suicune Master?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing that dude. He cooked me, bro. It was a
Injustice, no less. that was so random.
Well, that game had only been out for like 4 days, and that man showed me, Batman's still that guy. He showed me that man's still Bruce Wayne.
Remember when they had to nerf Jump 2 because it was so good? It was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do Jump 2 into Jump 2. That's a mix up here.
Bro, when Suicune Master hit me with the Jump 2, he hit me with his heel in front of me. And he was behind me with Standing 1. I just said, oh yeah, okay, you got it. Yep, this is your game. I don't need to play it. Yep, GG's. All you, buddy. But it'd be like that when it be like that, especially when it be like that. And speaking of when things are like that, Sonic Frontiers.
Oh.
I know we've seen the trailers, we've seen the gameplay, and we've seen the people who were on site to be able to get a hands-on experience with the demo. We've seen a lot of mixed reactions. We have some people who have played it and said it was great. The people on IGN just sucked at the game, blah, blah, blah. And then there were some people who were just saying from a technical aspect, the game looks kind of, let's be honest, lackluster. Looks like a big, empty, kind of barren world with not too much substance, blah, blah, blah. Now, here's what I think, personally. You can feel free to disagree. I'll give you the floor here in a second. When it comes to Sonic Frontiers, I think this is going to be a solid game. Like, I feel like this is going to be a Sonic game that's just going to be solid. I don't think it's going to be like Game of the Year, Ultimate. Oh my God, it's an experience that everyone needs to have in their life. Otherwise, you're throwing. But I feel like if I had to give Kirby and the Forgotten Land a solid 9 out of 10, in comparison to that, I feel like this is going to be like a 6.5, 7. Like, I think it's going to be good. I just don't think it's going to be breaking any barriers that's going to make everybody want to be a Sonic fan. Now, I have seen plenty of people on my timeline doom posting saying it's Sonic 06 Part 2. Here it comes.
Whoa.
I don't see that because, trust me, I saw what Sonic 06 was. I saw that game. I saw it. Played it. I seen it was in my hands. I seen it. Don't do this revisionist history thing that y'all like to do. Don't do it. 06 was a lot. Y'all must be getting confused because y'all got a bunch of mods out there now that fix 06. And now you trying to say that 06 is what 06 was. No. Don't kid yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do that. There's a reason why you have to work on a mod called Project Better 06. Where y'all are getting to the point where y'all have to remaster the cutscenes. Don't act like y'all. You know that game was in shambles.
Look, all those people trying to say that it's like Sonic 06 or Sonic fans who are just like, they haven't given us a good game in such a long time. And look, Sonic Frontiers looks like Sonic Elden Ring, and all those Sonic fans are look. They may say, "Oh, it's not going to be good now," or like be like, "It doesn't look like a Sonic game because it's not bright and hurting my eyes." Like they may say all those things now, but when that game comes out, they're gonna love it so much because it's gonna be Sonic Elden Ring. You're gonna run around as Sonic and do whatever you want, and there are gonna be random enemies around, random bosses around and stuff. You're gonna like interact with them, maybe some like random springboards, item boxes, all that shit. You're just gonna interact with those things and fight them because Sonic throws hands in this game. But ultimately, the game, as you said, the game will be a pretty good game. It's probably not going to be like the best game you've ever seen in your life. It's probably not even going to be the best Sonic game you've ever seen in your life. But like, it doesn't matter because it's been so long since people have had a Sonic game that they really love besides Mania that other people are going to buy it, and word of mouth is going to make other people buy it, and the Sonic fandom will be happy again. I mean, they got 2 movies, and they're getting a third one with that one guy, that edgy guy. Yeah. Look, the game is going to be good. I can already tell the game is not going to be like awful. It's just the fact that people are upset that it doesn't look like what they're used to, and that like all this hopefully beta footage that we've seen is not color graded to look like all bright and cheery like a Sonic game. But I don't think that the devs want it to be like old Sonic games or anything we've seen before that in that realm. They want this to be a more, I don't know, like mature Sonic game, I guess.
Personally, I think my take is like, look, they want this to be something that's a bit more distinguished from trying, because I feel like a lot of these games have been trying to cultivate like a mixture of the audience. Like the 2D games literally just say, no, fuck all the 3D shit that you thought that you knew. It's just the 2D shit. We don't care about your 3D shit. And the 3D games seem like they're trying to piggyback every now and then off of, well, here's some 2D stuff, just keep you interested, because Generations went over with the fan base so well. So I'm just assuming that like even the what was it? Was it Sonic Colors?
Yeah.
I haven't played that one, but there are some areas that are just 2D. And it's like now they're giving you the full range of, no, this is a 3D game. Enjoy it. However, I don't think this is going to be Elden Ring. I think this is going to be more akin to Mario Odyssey.
Okay, that's fair. That makes a little bit more sense.
Because Elden Ring has like 70 to 80 different like unique mini bosses and bosses. And look, I'm
not saying they're gonna have all that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the concept. I got you, because Sonic Team, yeah. Let's be honest. If there's anything Sonic Team has not been good at, it's bosses. All right, let's just keep it a whole Kobe Bean out here.
It's just going to be like different forms of Eggman from over the years.
Well, no, because like there was a time where like 6 out of 8 games, the final boss was just big amalgamation thing that you boost into its weak spot and then get blown back and repeat.
Ah, yes, the ultimate life form.
And it's like, is that really what you want in your day-to-day life when it comes to this is the ultimate? Like I don't want to hear that. I don't want to do that again. That's a chapter of our life that I think we've all moved on past from. But who knows? Maybe you guys think that, maybe it'll be a great game. But we don't have to worry about maybes when it comes to the next game, because there's a game that recently came out that is in fact, great game. That's Shredder's Revenge, boy. It be hitting, bro.
Yeah, 6-player co-op, 6-player online. The
netcode's good.
Yeah, netcode's good. The battle system is good.
And you want to know something that tilts me though?
What?
This is a 2D game that fits 6 players and the netcode crisp. But we got fighting games coming out.
Look,
there's 2 players.
Look,
Netcode,
Some of
not
those
crisp.
fighting games are in a higher quality than than what Shredder's Revenge is giving you. Let's be real here. The game is like 400 megs, so like they have the ability to put their time and effort into the net code as opposed to
Listen here. While you're right, I would like to point you in the direction of this game called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, oh no! Not the clip I see going around of like someone be like, "This is an abominable, this is an unacceptable net code experience," and it's like every 2 seconds, it's like transmitting.
Yeah. And that is a
Oh my
game that is
god!
coming out in the year of 2022.
So the game is officially out because like I saw Kayane playing it, and I was like, the game is out. I thought it was not coming out until like next year or like later this year, but like, holy shit, it's out! Like it's for real out, and that was someone just playing it, and it was just like, oh, this is my awful netcode experience. I thought it was like someone who like caught a beta or something and was like, this is unacceptable, and it was just like, they'll fix it. Don't worry.
But do you remember? Do you remember when it first came out? I'm talking about the first day.
What, the original game, or are you talking about this All-Star battle?
Original Adventure All-Star Battle R. The original.
You're gonna have to refresh my memory on what happened when it first came out.
That game came out in 2013, bro.
I know. Well, I know that it came out that long ago, but like,
No. All I asked was, when do you think it came out? That's all I asked.
oh, yeah. No, I know this game is old. I keep track of these JoJo games because I just wish there would be another heritage for the future, but Capcom would never. Capcom would never do that to us, I guess. But whatever. Fucking yeah. So like this game, I mean, from what I've seen, it looks like it might be decent, but I'd have to actually like touch it to make sure that it's not Naruto Clash of Booty, the type nonsense. Ultimate Ninja Booty, not Clash of Booty. Clash of Booty is nice.
The game comes out September 1st, 2022.
Okay, so yeah, what is this netcode thing that this person? I guess it's for the original.
No, they had demos. And I think the footage that you did see was of the original, but the developers said they have no plans on changing the netcode.
Hello?
They said they have no chance on, like they don't plan on updating the netcode.
That is a stupid mistake.
They just said that they're just kind of gonna let it rock because they don't believe that having rollback, like they said, the way the game is coded, they don't want to put rollback in it. Which I think is just being lazy when you have, all this time to make this re-release. But
I mean, yeah. I don't get why they made that decision because netcode is like really, really big after the past 2 years. I mean, it's been big before, but like, the past 2 years have solidified that like if you don't have netcode, your game is gonna like kind of die. Well, like look, Grand Blue had like this really big update, and Grand Blue Versus is a really good game. But unfortunately it's had like 3 season passes. Yeah, Grand Blue Versus is like a really good game that did not have its shine offline because of the fact that we all stayed home like a couple of months after the game came out, and that netcode is not the best. So yeah, it's gonna be at Evo to like try and like bring the scene back, but it would have been probably one of the games that like a lot of the FGC plays even now, even if on like a casual level, because of like how good the base game is, and the netcode like just completely ruined that. Like awful netcode. Ruined it.
But yeah, I went to go look and research the clip. So the clip is from the PS4, PS5 beta that came out.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a beta for that game that came out. Like, why is that? Like, I have not heard anything about this beta.
Yeah, but, you did. Transmitting. You heard.
All right. I saw the clip of like the person playing the whatever in the beta, but they didn't say this is a beta and this is unacceptable. Luckily, betas are for that very thing, to be like, hey, fix this right here. Like, I don't want the final game to be like this, and then devs can be like, oh shit, they care. We'll delay this a couple of months to take care of it. they're probably not going to do that, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but like, I mean,
Hopes, dreams, aspirations.
from what I saw, the game looks like a lot more like crisp and a lot better than what I expected. Maybe they're putting some interesting stuff into it. From what I remember, it was like like more of an like arena fighter, but I might be getting that confused with like Eyes of Heaven, which was that was a full blown arena fighter, and it was just it was nonsense. What was it like? Whole horse had a horse. Like there was all kinds of nonsense going on with that. I know I think they updated the original when the anime for part 6 came out because you know Jolene has official colors, an official voice actor for English and sub, English and Japanese, you know, and so they added all that to the game and then announced that that's like one of the updates is going to be added to uh fucking hell added to All-Star Battle Plus R. Plus R, huh?
Don't do that.
Man. You know, and just I'm hoping for the best for this game because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure it's a IP that could sell tons and tons of copies of a game, but the game itself has to be fucking good. Look at Dragon Ball. Look, when Dragon Ball first came out, we were all like, damn, this game is kind of not. Oh, this is really cool. I love being Goku. Some people still play the game. Some like diehard Dragon Ball fans still play the game. The rest of us are just like, no, this game is kind of booty. And then we just moved on. You know, I honestly was going to go back to that game when Lab Coat came out, and then everyone was like, this character's ruined the game for me. She's ruined it. It's like, why aren't there more characters that are like her? Like, come on, man.
Because they're villains, bro.
Whatever. Like, I don't care. Lab Coat is technically not a villain. I mean, it loosely confirmed that she's what is it, 16's mom, because 16 allegedly is, you know, Dr. Giro's son that he cyborgized.
Bro, don't even get me started on Dragon Ball because I saw that newest Dragon Ball Superheroes movie and
Okay, spoiler for me outside the podcast because first one, I've seen the picture of Gohan. I already knew that Gohan was gonna
Gohan Blanco. Latin America has got to be losing their mind, bro. They spoke him into existence.
Bro, they probably have like a channel that legitimately puts that that bootleg of the movie on TV like 24/7 or something because you know they love that series. When the season finale came out of the tournament arc, you know they fucking like had like some giant showing of it in the middle of like a Mexican town or something. They went crazy over that.
No, they did that for the entirety of the final arc. They did that weekly.
Oh,
there was weekly gatherings where they just rented out the block. Had a Dragon Ball Z watch block party. Which, to be honest, I'm kind of envious of. Like, imagine a show that you were mad passionate about and everybody, all the goons just pulled up. The only thing I can think is even remotely relatable that I've seen in the States is I don't remember when Persona 5 did it, but they were asking all their goons to like take pictures with like envelopes and say like they got the invitation. You know what I'm talking about. It was all over Twitter for a week. I know it was for the Smash thing, but it was like a whole thing for a weekend. But no, it wasn't. I don't think it was for Smash actually. It was specifically for Persona 5.
Envelopes?
They were doing a thing where like they were all like the Phantom Knight thieves are all out. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to look this shit up, bro.
That's probably the Smash invitation thing.
It could have been, but I just don't think it was. I remember it being like they were making an announcement.
Yeah, it was probably related to the Smash thing because that's the only time I remember envelopes being related to like Phantom Thieves because the Joker announcement, you know, the teaser when they were like Joker is going to be in the game as DLC at some point in time or whatever, and that's when they had the envelopes, and that's when the envelope theme became the thing for Smash. Well, no, that's not when. That's when it became most popular, I guess, because.
Yeah, but you remember the thing I'm talking about where it was like a whole promotion thing and like a whole bunch of people who were cosplayers and fans were just taking pictures of themselves out in the streets with the whole Phantom Thieves like posters and LED walls in New York.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
But yeah. So that was an interesting thing a little bit.
But nowadays you're just gonna have random anime fan be like, Naruto is way better than Dragon Ball ever was. So like, who cares?
What are you talking about, bro? Goku solos. I'm getting tired of those people.
I'm tired of both people. I'm tired of the people who are like, Goku could beat anybody, and then the people who are just like, Dragon Ball is shit. I don't even understand why you guys like that. Demon Slayer is the best anime to ever come out. And it's like, come on, kids. Like, Dragon Ball made that, right?
Maybe it's because I'm just not on the internet enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't ever hear none of these Jujutsu Kaisen folk being out of pocket like that.
Exactly. Bless Jujutsu Kaisen for just having a fan base who are just like, you know what? We just simp over this one blonde haired guy who's like really godlike and hot or whatever, and then we just we appreciate everything else about the anime, and we're waiting for the rest to come.
Now, I could be wrong. I'm sure there's going to be someone in the YouTube comment section who's going to be like, well, actually, on TikTok, the JJK Brigade is some of the absolute most disrespectful. I haven't seen it. That's all I'm saying.
That's cool. The only things I see on my TikTok feed are cosplayers and goth girls and fitness girls who are like doing.
My brother, have you come down with a severe case of the horny?
No, I'm saying this is my feed. Like that's my feed.
And that had to get on your feed somehow, because I don't have that on mine.
The occasional funny video as well. That's my feed, and you know what? I'm glad that's the feed that I want. Like, what else would I want on TikTok? Come on, bro. And the occasional food. Oh my god. Out of the 5 times a year that I open that app,
I randomly be getting stuff like about myths. Like things that you think would be common sense from like our childhood but weren't. Like, apparently there's been this big revelation today that do you remember those like little frozen like Kool-Aid pops that were in like the big plastic tubes, people cut their teeth on them?
Yeah.
And I always just like, why don't you just break them in half? Because you just snap them and then they're frozen, so it's not like they're gonna go anywhere.
They weren't really frozen in that kind of way, though. You had to cut them a certain way, otherwise it would like, oh shit!
No, I'm talking about grabbing in half and pop. I'm talking about when they're frozen, like when they're solid, not after they've been open for a while. I'm talking about as soon as you take them out of the freezer and you're about to eat them, you pop it.
Yeah, I mean that was a thing. I did that.
Yeah, but apparently on TikTok, people are like, nah, no way. This better not work. This better not work. I've been cutting my teeth and messing my gums up and chewing on them all summer, and I was just like, no, my brother, you just didn't think.
Listen, let me tell you about what this video game, The Quarry, has taught me. Some of these fucking kids are stupid. All right, they're stupid. There's no goddamn way, man. No goddamn way. They're just like, no way. If I break it in half, it's gonna work, and I can eat it. And it's just like, no shit. No shit. That's how things in packages work.
Okay.
Right?
Well, people didn't know that you like on most pots that have the handles, you could sit the lid and it arcs on the thing. Like, you don't have to cover it. You could just prop it on top of the thing and between the lip and the handle, and it stands up.
Yeah.
And people are having big revelations about that.
I mean, that is something that people don't know as much, because you don't see that.
I get that one, because some people just don't cook. So like,
yeah,
it's
that
like
too.
The only thing you make is minute rice and ramen noodles, my guy. Like, just sit down. This one wasn't for you.
Yo, that McDonald's goes strong, for some people.
Oh my! I mean, you're not wrong. Sometimes you're like, man, I'm hungry. You look at the clock and you're like, 11:30. Man, that's the only thing open. GG's. I lost. Either that or you going to Steak and Shake. But if you go to Steak and Shake at 11:30, you already lost.
Look, man, I live next to a Steak and Shake, and it hasn't been 24 hours in like 3 years. So
nah, it was before that, because I remember one time we had got back from a convention mad late, and this was like back in like 2017, 2018.
Nah, definitely not that one. Not in 2017.
No, it might have been 28. No, it was 2019. It was the last AWA before, the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember you had to drive me back at 4 a.m. because that was like the one of two AWAs where I didn't have to drive. And we drove by and we said, we were thinking about getting some Steak and Shake. And we drove by and it was dark, bro. The sign wasn't even on. They cut the whole thing off. And I was like, oh, the windows are all shut up? Nah, man, are they closed? Like, are they closed down? And you're like, no, they were open before we left. And I was like, all right, man. So I know it's been a minute. It's been a while. It's been at least 1,000 days since they've been a 24-hour establishment, even though they ain't changed the sign. The sign still says open 24 hours, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think they're ever going to fix that, but
I mean, they changed the one by me. They changed the hours, or they changed like a sign with the hours or whatever when they were like, well, first closed, and then when it was like, oh, we're only open until X amount of time, and then it's like the inside is open until X amount of time, but the outside is open. The drive-through is open for until like 11 o'clock, and now it's open until 11 o'clock.
And then it's just like, GG's, man. You think we're gonna stand out here all day for people who ain't coming? No. Mm-hmm. That's why they learned the tech. All the people who work overnight, they park behind the establishment. So when you're driving by, you see no cars, you think it's closed.
Yep. That's facts.
And I was like, oh, yeah, they found out the tech. They're like, see, we park back here. We don't get no customers. We can close early. We slide up out here around 10:15.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, speaking of that game I mentioned, The Quarry, you know how when Until Dawn came out, a lot of people were just kind of like, what, like, I know that this is about teenagers dying, but like, what is killing them? What is this monster that's there? Yeah, this one's about werewolves. Werewolves. Yep. It's about werewolves, and it gets very dumb. It gets very dumb, and some of the dialogue from some of these actors is pretty bad because they're all supposed to be like teenagers, so it's supposed to be hip TikTok lingo or whatever, and it's like, it's like, I can't believe you said that. Also, I do have to like praise them for the fact that they have the like motion capture technology that they have is like, I don't know, it is really great. They have like actual actors in it, to like promote the game to people who don't usually play games or whatever, and it's like they legitimately have like David Arquette is in it. There's just a lot of like recognizable faces. There's that one old lady from the Insidious movies. There's that one old guy who was also in Detroit Become Human. The Jesse Williams master in that movie or in that game. Like they just have a lot of random people in this game. There's that one kid from the Detective Pikachu also. The Lexian kid who was with Pikachu.
Oh, you mean to do this also from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom?
Lord have mercy, he is in that movie.
Yeah, they snuck him in. He's in Dominion for the first like 6 minutes, and then he goes, yeah, man, I can't. He literally has a scene where he's like, I can't do this anymore. You gonna get a shot. And then he closes the door, and we never see him again.
Speaking of that, how was Dominion for you? Because I've heard some things.
Garbage. Don't get me wrong. Even though it was garbage, it's still the best of the three. Oh. But it was still a garbage.
I heard about the plot with the what is it, the flies, the fireflies or whatever.
The locusts. Yeah,
the locusts. There we go.
Genetically engineered locusts are wiping out the crops because they were like, look, if we can control the crops, we can control the human population.
And they found a way to put BD Wong in the center of the plot again.
Hey man, he was the villain of the first movie, technically, and now he's the foil in the third movie.
Isn't he in like all three of this new trilogy? Or is it just 2 and 3?
No, he's in the first one.
Okay, so
if he's in the second one, I really don't remember him having a part that was big at all.
I think he had like a cameo or whatever in the second.
Yeah, he might have had like a cameo, but like the first one, he was a prominent thing because he's the one that helped genetically engineer all the hybrid dinosaurs.
Jesus Christ! Like, look, I just don't understand.
I mean, BD Wong was in the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I know that, but like, I just don't understand how. Like, I know that Jurassic Park is based on a book, right? But I don't understand this plot point of okay, we decided to make dinosaurs and put them in a theme park. Nothing can go wrong here. There's no possible way that the dinosaurs might kill us. And then the dinosaurs get out, and some of them try to kill them, and then like years later, the same man was enlisted to make hybrid dinosaurs, smarter dinosaurs, and just think now that they're smarter, nothing can go wrong. This time, we've got tracking chips inside the dinosaurs. This time, we will make sure that they are okay. And it's just like, what are you saying to me? Like, the same thing is going to happen again. And of course, the plot of the movie is that the same thing happens again. Oh, and then the second one, that guy cloned his daughter.
Okay, so here's the funny thing about that. They retcon
Oh,
that.
yeah, and the third one, it had something to do with like
She cloned herself with perfect
yeah,
eugenics. So
yeah.
it's like she had she was terminally ill with some disease that was like super AIDS, and she decided that she was going to clone herself by impregnating herself with her clone, but the clone has perfect eugenics, so it can't ever get sick, which opens up an entire can of worms because now you can like genetically engineer the perfect super athlete or a perfect version of you that doesn't get wrinkles. And like you introduce concepts that you probably shouldn't, because that's a Pandora's box concept.
That's kind of what that new Cronenberg movie is about.
Well, there you go. So it's like,
Like it's nonsense.
so you know, it is what it is. I don't want to spoil any of the movies today, but just know that Jurassic World and Dragon Ball both weren't that great, but Dragon Ball is definitely the better of the two movies by a mile. It's not close.
Are you sure? Because I've seen trailers of that animation and like it looks very ugly. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, it looks very ugly.
Okay, so it's like somehow they had less of a budget to do Guilty Gear's animation style than Guilty Gear, which
Just don't do it.
that's very odd. But at the same time, I will admit, from a writing, story, entertainment perspective, you're going to get a lot more value out of Dragon Ball Superhero as opposed to Jurassic World Dominion.
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic
Look,
World Dominion has a whole cavalcade of problems we could talk about on a different episode, because
yeah,
we'll be here all fucking day, bro.
Dominion is just for Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern, Sam Neill, and
Get that check.
dinosaurs.
Get that
Yep,
check.
that's
Get
it.
that nostalgia. Get that check. Fortunately for me, we've gotten free tickets to see all of these, so I don't feel any sort of type of way about having to invest capital in order to see these shit shows. But alas, it is what it is. But I think that's about going to bring this episode to a close.
Mhm.
As always, we'd like to thank all of you for joining us on this fantastic Friday night. We will try to get back to Thursdays, but syncing schedules can be quite hard and difficult, especially when people like to call you at the last minute for business meetings. Subtle fraudulence knows exactly what I'm talking about. But alas, you guys be safe. All my kings and queens and everybody in between out there, make sure that you have a great weekend, a great set of games, and don't do anything that we wouldn't do. AKA be safe, be strong, and keep a stiff upper lip. Anything you'd like to close out on, sir?
Don't forget that the internet was a mistake. If you find yourself getting into an argument with someone on Twitter, Facebook, or Jesus Christ, Reddit,
Oh, Lord.
turn off the device. Go, drink some water, do something else for like at least 20 minutes. Go outside. Well, actually, don't go outside during this summer because it's getting in the 90s out here. You might
Bro,
actually
it is
die.
a scorcher out there right now, bro.
But yeah, do something else, and then come back to it. Read what that person said, and realize it literally doesn't matter.
Indeed. In flippin' deep. But yeah, y'all take care, enjoy yourselves, and most importantly, enjoy life. Because we're not here for a long time. So at the very least, I hope you're here for a good time. Y'all stay great, everybody. Cheers.